My PowerPoint presentation is visible to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because of some bandwidth issue, purposefully I have switched off my video for some time. Otherwise, I will get disconnected. Okay, so hope that will be okay with you all. So MBA1st 6101 Organizational Behavior. My name is Dr. Reema Agarwal. This is the syllabus that is given to you. The syllabus includes 9 units. And if you will look into your SLM, there are 10 to 11 chapters, right? So these 9 units covered basic concept of organization behavior, various individual, group, and organizational related components that are relevant in the area of organization behavior. Talking about the paper pattern, which remains a concern for the first year students. Paper pattern is such that it includes part A and part B. So part A will include a mandatory case study question, which will be of 20 marks. That means it is mandatory to attempt the part A, a 20 marks question. Then in part B, there will be choice that will be given to you. There will be around 6 questions, out of which you have to attempt any 4 questions. Each question will be of 12.5 marks. Talking about the reference material, obviously you have already received your self-learning material. So that is one point where you could refer your self-learning material. Second is class recordings. So all the online classes that I'm taking, in addition to the revision class that I will be taking towards the end, those recordings will be available to you. अब recordings मिलेंगी कहाँ पर? Recordings आपको website पे मिलेगी. और website पे कहाँ मिलेगी? Website पे there is one tab of PCP. Within that tab, the recordings are available. Then there will be certain handouts. So I will be taking up certain case studies. I will be taking up certain topics. And towards the end, I will be sharing my PPTs and those case studies, which I'm calling the handouts. In addition to that, if someone wants to refer some more material, then you have reference books. So I will be suggesting 2 reference books. One is Organizational Behavior by Stephen Robbins. I have already given you the front page. So this book includes a lot of case studies. So you will find too many case studies in this book, and it is a good read. If you give, it is good for learning also. Then in case you feel that it is little heavy or difficult to read, then the second book I will suggest you, which is little lighter in note, that is by T.N. Chabra, Organizational Behavior, right? What will be my target for today's classes? I will be giving you some brief about a topic in Unit 1, and then I will be picking up the second topic from Unit 2, that is perception, process, factors, attribution theory. This is my target for this class. I hope the roadmap is clear to you for the today's class. Before I move further, there is something that you should be knowing, that is, what do we mean by organization behavior? So before we move towards what do we mean by organization behavior, let us first understand what do we mean by organization. What is organization? So an organization is a social unit that is structured and managed to pursue collective goals. What does this mean? This means that organization एक ऐसी collective goals के लिए form की जाती है. For example, if 5 people or let's say 10 of them are working together, right? And they have some common purpose in mind. And then they form a structure that who will be taking the responsibility, how the work will be done, what is the hierarchy, who will be responsible and who will be accountable. Then we treat it as an organization. So organization needs 3 things. One is purpose. What is purpose? A purpose is stated through vision, mission, goal, and specific objectives. Purpose is very, very important. What type of social requirement you are trying to fulfill by making this organization? That defines your purpose. So if I talk about LinkedIn, what is the purpose of LinkedIn? It is trying to connect different professionals throughout the world, right? Working professionals throughout the world. So that is their purpose. If someone is providing you with the pencil, pen, or stationery related material, then providing that product to the society is their purpose. So every organization should have a purpose. Then it should have more than one person who is working in the organization. And lastly, there should be structure. That means there should be some hierarchy, who will be reporting, who is responsible, who is accountable, how things are working. So that structure is important to form an organization. So it doesn't matter whether an organization is large or small. It could be large, it could be small. Even ownership doesn't matter. It could be public, it could be private, it could be hybrid. Even it could be a profit-making organization. Even a non-profit making organization is also an organization. It could be in any sector like finance, education, food, manufacturing, service. It could be in any location, domestic, multinational. It could be government, it could be non-government. So any of these thing is possible for an organization, provided it has a purpose, people, and structure. Three things are mandatory. So what is the difference between an organization and different other social groups? Organization is having a purpose. It has employees. It has communication channel. It has certain rules, procedure, controls, and techniques. In addition to this, it also has hierarchy, specialization, and division of labor, right? It also has values, status differences, and there are non-formal relationships. So if you're working in an organization, automatically you will enter into an informal organization where you will be making your friends, you will be having the friendship ties and different things. So what is not there in an organization? Strong emotional bonds between members, which we usually find in family or friendship group, right? Now we understand that what is organization. Organization kya hai? If something that is having purpose, people, and structure, right? It is a social unit where the group of people are working together in order to complete some purpose. Now let us understand the core thing, that is the title of this subject also, organization behavior. Organization behavior is a field of study that investigates the impact that individual, group, and structure have on behavior within the organization to apply such knowledge towards improving an organization's effectiveness. So this definition is given by Stephen P. Robbins. What is the meaning of this definition? It is a field of study. So you are trying to study and you are trying to investigate. What you are trying to investigate? What impact people individually or in group or at an organizational level is having on the behaviors or on the organization, right? So एक individual का, एक group of individual का और organization as a whole, उनके behavior का क्या impact आता है organization पे, right? And whatever knowledge you are gathering out of it, you try to use it in order to improve organization effectiveness. So again, it is very, very important. It is not only about investigating or studying the behavior. It is about applying that knowledge to improve the organization effectiveness, right? So if I understand that what motivates you, what doesn't motivate you, but I'm unable to apply that knowledge, then it is of no use. Give me 1 minute. There is some disturbance. Please, I don't know how come. Right. So please use the chat box if you want to tell something, right? So that is organizational behavior. Now, how this domain of organizational behavior is formed? If we go back in past, there was nothing like organization behavior. Eventually, we picked up the information or the knowledge from various domains, various disciplines. in order to form the domain of organization behavior. If you look at this diagram, from the domain of psychology, we learned that how an individual employee behave in a particular organization. So एक employee को क्या motivate करता है? What is his or her personality? What are his or her emotions? What is their perception? How they get satisfied in the job? We tried to learn all this from the field of psychology. So that knowledge we borrowed from the field of psychology to understand the individual psychology of an employee. Then from the domain of social psychology, we borrowed concepts like group process, group decision making, attitude change, right? Then from the domain of sociology, we borrowed the concept like power, conflict, organizational change, organizational culture, and etc. Then from the domain of anthropology, we borrowed concepts like organizational culture, organizational environment, right? Cross-cultural analysis. So anthropology basically is a study about culture. So हमने उस domain से knowledge borrow करी to understand the culture of organization. Sociology is about group, right? So हमने वहां से knowledge borrow करी to understand the group processes that are running in an organization. Psychology, human mindset के बारे में. So we borrowed the information and knowledge from there to understand the psychology and the mindset of an employee. So at 3 levels, we were able to understand individual, group, and organizational level. We were able to study the organization behavior. I hope the concept is clear to you. As I was telling you previously, in the previous slide also, there are 3 levels of analysis in organization behavior. So OB में हम 3 level पे analysis करते हैं. One is at individual level, जिसे हम कहते हैं micro level analysis. So it is to study the individual differences. Every time we have a question, na, ki if AI is coming, what will happen to our jobs, right? So AI is a machine, but individual mindset is different from a machine. Machine एक जैसा सोचती है, but individuals differently सोचते हैं. So their mindset is different. Their way of behaving is different. So first level of analysis is individual micro level analysis, where we try to understand that what is the behavior of every employee, what influences individual behavior. So every employee in an organizational is centered to the study of OP. So like हम उसकी personality को समझते हैं, values को, attitudes को, perception, motivation, learning, etc. Then we understand group level analysis, that is meso level analysis, group dynamics. So basically we try to understand when people come together in a group, then what happens to their behavior. So यहाँ पे हम कौन से टॉपिक समझते हैं? ग्रुप कोहेसिवनेस, teamwork, power politics, group dynamics. I give you another example. So if you work in a group or you work individually, your behavior will be different. So school mein, we used to get group projects. So what used to happen at that point of time? If you are able to recall, you will be able to recall that everyone used to give less input in the group project. Why? Because we used to believe that the group is doing the work. Someone in the group is doing the work, so हमारा सारा focus रहता था individual assignments में जो हमें मिले हैं. Group assignments में हमारा focus थोड़ा सा कम हो जाता था. So this is the group behavior. So such type of concepts we study in group level analysis. Last is macro level analysis, that is organization level analysis. So here we study about the culture, climate, cross-cultural analysis to understand the whole value or culture of the organization. So till here, I have given you a little bit brief about what are their topics in the unit 1. Now I'm introducing the unit 2. So abhi unit 1 is not over. We will be again taking up few topics from the unit 1 when I will be going further, because it's a very basic and introductory unit. So I'm not putting too much stress in unit 1. So in unit 2, like I was in previous slide, I explained to you individual level analysis. So what is individual level analysis? To understand the individual mindset of an individual employee, right? One component of individual level analysis is perception. So in this class, I will be focusing on perception, perception process, and attribution theory, right? So what is perception? Let us first understand what is perception. Perception in simple language or in Hindi, it means nazariya, right? So nazariya basically means how we see the world, how we are interpreting it. It is different. It is not my eye, which is seeing. It is I, capital I, who is seeing the world. That is the reason that everyone is interpreting the surroundings differently. अब ये बहुत मीनिंगफुल चीज है, समझना प्लीज. We are trying to understand the individual employee mindset. Based on it, we will be understanding his or her behavior. And then we will be understanding that what happens to an organization effectiveness, or how we could improve organization effectiveness by working upon this particular topic, that is perception. So this is the whole idea. So look at this picture. Could you see this picture? Which line is bigger, 1 or 2? So if I will be asking a class, 80% will say that it is line 2 is bigger than line 1. But in reality, both the lines are of same size. It is only the background, the tracks which are formed, which make the line number 2 look bigger than line number 1. So ये क्या हो रहा है? हमारा नजरिया. So the eye sees only what the mind is prepared to comprehend. So if there is one person who is saying this water or the glass of water is half full, the other is perceiving that it is half empty. Both the situations are right, right? So again, it is a perception, how you're looking at the world. Second picture. What did you see this in this picture first? If I will be asking the class, I will be giving you access to mic. Then some will be saying that we are able to see a girl looking at a mirror, and others will say that we are able to see a skull, right? So again, this is a perception. And there will be some students who will say that again, at the same time, we were able to recognize both the things. So that possibility is also there. So perception refers to the process by which individual employees selects, organize, and interpret sensory input to give meaning to their environment, right? So basically, world would have been much more simpler if everyone would have perceived similarly. हम सबको सब कुछ एक जैसी दिखती, एक जैसा हम interpret करते, things would have been more simpler, right? Now, why we are studying perception here? It is a management class, organization behavior class. Why we are studying perception? We are studying perception because perception is impacting the individual decision making. I believe that future mein you all will be becoming the managers. You will be going to top positions. So as you move up in the hierarchy, what is the most important thing that you will be doing? If I would have been asking this to the class, most of you would be saying that it is decision making. अगर आप ऐसा नहीं भी कहोगे, then I'm telling you that the crucial thing when you move up in the hierarchy is to make the right decisions at the right point of time, right? And individual decision making capability or ability is influenced by the individual perception. That is why we are learning and trying to understand that how perception is going to impact my decision making power. So employee decision making process is linked with his or her perception in following ways. First is cognitive process to interpret information, right? Cognitive means knowledge. So the knowledge you are carrying, that process of how you are turning your knowledge, and how you are interpreting the information, this is impacted by perception. For example, two managers could evaluate the same employee differently. So one manager could say that this employee should get promotion. Other could say, oh, really? He should get the promotion. I don't feel he should get the promotion. So two managers could have two different perspectives for the same employee. Second is that perception is connected with decision making because individual decisions are influenced by various biases, right? In later section, I will be covering all these biases. I'm explaining you one for a matter, like confirmation bias. So I have certain belief system in my mind. I believe that the person who is scoring top rank or top 3 rank is a very deserving person. जिसकी top 3 rank आई है वो बहुत deserving है and उसे job मिलनी चाहिए. Now, if I'm a recruiter and I am recruiting, then my mind is again and again my mind will try to confirm this pre-existing belief. So if a topper is going to appear in the interview, I will be giving a more, I will be influenced basically. I will be trying to unknowingly, I will try to favor that person. Why? Because I pre-existingly believe that a topper is eligible for this job. So this is the confirmation bias. Similarly, there is a recency bias, which means that when we try to evaluate the performance of an employee, we are not able, as a manager, we are not able to recall everything. But the recent events remain in our mind. हमारे mind में recent events रह जाते हैं. So recently, if the person has performed good, then we perceive he is very good. If the recent behavior was not good, then we perceive the behavior was not good. So these biases are going to influence our decision. Next is evaluation of risk. I hope you all understand that business is all about taking risk, right? But how you evaluate the risk? Same amount of risk, किसी को ज़्यादा लगता है, किसी को कम लगता है, right? So perception of the risk associated with a particular decision, this could also influence your decision-making process. Last is organizational culture. That means employees' perception of the organization norms, values is also going to shape the culture of the organization. So if everyone will feel in the organization that organization top leaders are not listening to them, it is an autocratic type of leadership, then that perception will be carried out throughout the organization, right? Before we go further, let us understand two concepts. One is rational decision making. Second is bounded rationality. If we look into past, जब हम past में बात करते हैं, तो मैनेजमेंट के या ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बिहेवियर के जब हम कॉन्सेप्ट्स की बात करते थे, we used to teach that decision making works like a maths formula, right? So एक मैनेजर के पास एक डिसीजन से रिलेटेड सारी इंफॉर्मेशन होनी चाहिए एंड वो सारी इंफॉर्मेशन को एक्सप्लोर करेगा, सारे ऑल्टरनेटिव्स को प्रॉपर्ली इवैल्यूएट करेगा, he will look into pros and cons and then he is going to pick the best decision. That we used to call a rational decision making. Okay, so rational decision making used to assume that managers will make decision based on all the information that is available and manager was expected to explore all the alternatives. So we used to say that manager is supposed to make the rational decisions. But later, Herbert Simon ने suggest किया that this is not possible. For an individual to explore all the alternatives is not possible. For an individual to know and collect all the available information is again not possible. Why? Because time is constrained. हमें quick decisions लेने हैं. इतना टाइम ही नहीं है कि हम सारे alternatives को explore कर सकें. Cognitive limitation है. Mind में कुछ cognitive limitations है. We could not think that broad, right? And there are so many complexities in the decision-making environment. So in real world, Managers are not making rational decisions, but they are working in the model of bounded rationality, which says that decision maker is operating under the given constraints. So जो limited information उसके पास है वो उसको explore करता है limited given time में, and based on it they are taking the best decision. So this is the concept of bounded rationality. To further explain it, let me give you one example. Like you took a decision of taking admission in this MBA program. So if in the class I would have asked how many of you have explored this course, how many of you have spent more than 1 year in order to decide whether you want to do this course or not, there will be multiple answers. Some will say that I have only spent it 15 days. कुछ कहेंगे हमने 1 month लगाया, हमने बस गूगल करके कुछ इंस्टीट्यूट देखे और डिसाइड कर लिया. मेरे फ्रेंड ने कहा था इट इज गुड इंस्टीट्यूट, बेस्ड ऑन दैट सजेशंस आई हैव टेकन द एडमिशन, राइट? बट व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से इज आपने ऐसा नहीं है जितने भी इंफॉर्मेशन थी इसके रिगार्डिंग वो आपने ली, उन सारे ऑल्टरनेटिव्स को एक्सप्लोर किया, देन उसके सबके प्रोज एंड कॉन्स निकाले, देन उसमें से आपने बेस्ट पिक किया. सो दैट इज रैशनल डिसीजन मेकिंग. In reality, even manager is also doing the same thing. Limited time में, limited information, limited cognitive knowledge के basis पे he is making the decision. That is bounded rationality. Now, I hope till here you all are clear with what is perception, why perception is important and how it is linked with decision making. What is the difference between rational decision making and bounded rationality? So I'm giving you the access of mic. If you have any question till here, you could ask. Otherwise, I will move towards the attribution theory, right? Yes, any question till here? I have given access to mic. Anyone is having any question till here?
Yes. You're
not audible. You're not audible to me. Should I move ahead to attribution theory?
Yes, it's clear. We can move on. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So again, I'm taking the mic so that no one is disturbing, right? Then I will give you access of mic once the topic will be over. I hope my screen is visible to you all, right? It is very important, attribution theory. So what we are trying to understand human mindset, individual mindset. Within individual mindset, we are talking about perception. Within perception, we are talking about attribution theory, which is given by Heather. So basically, attribution theory explains the cognitive process through which individual attribute reason to their behavior, right? So what does this mean? Let me take an example. Someone received a promotion in your office. आपके office में किसी को promotion मिला, right? This is an event, right? Other employees will attribute this event to two things. Some will say that the person was capable, but very hardworking. That is why he or she has received a promotion. And some might say that it is just a destiny, network, connections, because of which the person has received the promotion, right? So employees जो होंगे वो दो तरह से attribute करेंगे. So basically attribute करना means आप individual behavior को किससे connect कर रहे हैं? Individual internal factor से या फिर external factor से. So there are two factors which you could attribute a behavior to. One is internal factor, which defines the capability, intention, and effort. Second is external factor, which defines the situational factors, right? Like the task was difficult, it is destiny. So something that is not in control of an individual. So Harlow-Kelly suggested that people make internal external attribution based on three types of information. तो दो तरह की attribution हो सकती है. One is internal attribution, second is external attribution. Again, I am explaining what is internal attribution and what is external attribution. Internal attribution means when you are connecting or when you are attributing the behavior to internal factor. That is the capability of an individual. External attribution means when you are attributing the behavior to external reasons, which are not controlled by an individual. So there are three components defined in the attribution theory. First is consensus, second is consistency, and third is distinctiveness. Consensus basically means the extent to which employee behave the way others are behaving in the given situation. So if my behavior is similar to the behavior of others, then the consensus are said to be high. If my behavior is different from the behavior of others, then the consensus is low. Next is consistency, which means that it is measured in the timeline. So basically how consistently I'm over the period of time I'm behaving in such a same manner. If in the same pattern I'm behaving over the period of time, my behavior is same, then the consistency is high. If over the period of time, my behavior is not same, then the consistency is low. Last is distinctiveness. This means the extent to which the person behave differently across different situations. High distinctiveness means अलग-अलग situation में behavior different है. And low distinctiveness means that different situations में behavior same. Look at this diagram. This diagram says that if distinctiveness is high, then individual's behavior will be attributed to external factor. If consensus will be high, then again individual behavior will be attributed to external factor. But if consistency is high, then behavior will be attributed to internal factor. Let us understand each one of them using an example. For first is consensus. अब consensus में हमने एक example लिया that Monica is promoted to director position. Now her colleagues are trying to explain her promotion. So if it is because of internal factor like her ability or because of some external reason like luck or networking. So Kelly's model suggested that if she consistently outperformed then other colleagues, then her behavior, her promotion will be attributed to internal factor. Next is consistently. So over the period of time, if she is giving high sales figure, then her promotion will be connected to internal factor. Last, if she is able to, or now we are just taking the same example only, if her sales figure is good, even when she is involved in different product line, right? That means distinctiveness is low. Then in that case also, her behavior, that means her promotion will be attributed to internal factor, right? To make this theory more clear, I am just sharing the screen so that you could go through the case study. And we will be discussing this classroom. 1 minute. I am giving you 5 minutes. Please read this case study. After we will discuss this case study, I'm expecting that the attribution theory will be clear to you. I hope my screen is visible. Put it in the chat box if it is not visible. Please read the case study. Please put it in the chat box once you have read the case study. Because few students have written that they are done with the case study. So I'm believing the case study is done. Now I'm giving the access to mic so that we could discuss the answer, right? Please make sure your mics are off. In case you are not in a position, maybe your surrounding is having some kind of noise, then please don't open the mics, right? Now, I have given access to mic. This case study is about Rachel. In this case study, it is given that Rachel has noted certain changes in Mohit's behavior. Now, to understand why this change is happening, she's trying to study certain things. She's trying to research about certain things about Mohit. And 1, 2, 3 are the points which are defining what she has explored about Mohit. Question is, based on the case study, explain what type of attribution, internal or external, would be appropriate for Mohit's recent behavior. Use the components of attribution theory, consensus, consistency, and distinctiveness to support your reasoning. So what you are expected in this question is, first you need to tell that what type of behavior is being attributed. Then you need to explain whether the consensus, consistency, or distinctiveness is high or low, and whether the attribution of the behavior will be given to external factor or internal factor. और आपको reason भी देना है why. ठीक है? Anyone who wants to participate in the answer? Theory clear नहीं है तो you tell me. I will first explain you the theory. Yes. Anyone ready with the answer?
This is an internal factor.
Which one is internal? This is an internal factor overall. It's okay. But if I talk about individually, then one. So you are saying, let me just open the slide only. Case study. You are saying attribution is given to an internal factor. Okay. Now,
Yes.
what could we say about all the three components? आपको तीनों components explain करने हैं. Consistency, consensus, and distinctiveness. ठीक है? Could you explain? Consensus? Consensus is high or low? And why? Anyone? Consensus high है या low है? किसको समझ नहीं आया?
It is high
Consensus you are saying is high.
because
Consensus.
other peers or the other employees are also behaving in the same manner.
Because absolutely correct. Because other employees are also behaving in the same manner. किसी का mic work नहीं कर रहा तो they could put it in the chat box. So why consensus is same? Let me just read it. Rachel team members are exhibiting the similar behavior. She finds that some team members are arriving late, some are missing the deadlines, some are unable to deliver the quality to clients. So yes, consensus are high. So others are also behaving in the same pattern. In the same pattern, Mohit is also working. Before we start with this, tell me one thing, which behavior is being attributed? Which behavior Rachel is trying to attribute? What is the behavior? हम क्या attribute कर रहे हैं? Anyone? Anyone? Yes.
It's punctuality.
I will take the mic. Access.
It's punctuality. He used to come on time, but he is not.
Absolutely correct. So जो ये line है that over the not punctuality but he is arriving late.
Consistency.
So ये line
Checking the
जो है,
consistency.
yes, this is the recent behavior. So recent behavior is that he's arriving late, he's missing the project deadlines, he seems less engaged during the meetings. So now Rachel is trying to evaluate कि ये क्यों हो रहा है? Is it due to the internal factor? That means it is the lack of ability, interest or capability of Mohit, or it is due to some situational external factor because of which Mohit is behaving in this manner. वो ऐसा क्यों कर रही है? If she will know that it is happening because of internal factor, उसका decision अलग होगा उसके बारे में. If she comes to know that this is because of some external reason, then उसका decision अलग होगा, right? So this is very important that you should understand. What does the attribution theory means? आप किसी behavior को attribute कर रहे हो. In this case study, behavior that is being attributed is this one, right? That Mohit is coming late. So when she looked into the consensus component, she is able to see that it is high. Why it is high? Because others are also behaving in the same manner. They are also coming late. They are also missing the deadlines. So this is not what Mohit is doing. Rather, everyone is behaving in the same pattern. So when consensus are high, that means the reason is external factor. अगर हर कोई ऐसे behave कर रहा है, that means his behavior of coming late will be attributed to external factor. कुछ external reasons हैं, कुछ situational factor हैं, जिसकी वजह से ये हो रहा है. Now, what is happening to consistency? Anyone? Again, I am telling if there will be disturbance from anyone's side, then I will take the excess of mic. Please be very particular about it.
Ma'am, consistency is high because he is consistently delivering to the client emails and meetings even after he is struggling with other factors.
You are saying consistency is high because consistently he is struggling.
No, he's
And
consistently delivering to client meetings and responding to their emails on priority.
But फिर consistency
Consistency
high
is
कैसे
low.
हुई?
Consistency is
Ma'am,
low.
consistency is low.
Consistency is low. Let me explain you. आपका perspective है कि वो consistently clients deliver कर रहा है, right? Timely. अगर वो consistently सही से deliver कर रहा है, तो ये behavior तो consistent नहीं है ना? Behavior जो yellow से highlighted है, वो है missing project line, coming late, less engaged. So इसकी consistency आप देख रहे हो whether in a time frame वो consistently ऐसा कर रहा है या नहीं कर रहा. इसकी consistency तो low हो गई ना? If I go with what you are saying, are you able to understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Also, declining. Second point पे लिखा है Rachel reviews Mohit's history and she discovers that this is a recent behavior out of his character. So consistently Mohit was not like this. It is recently that he has started doing this. So Mohit used to come in time in past. He has consistently met the deadlines, actively participated in the meetings. So consistency is low. So when consistency is low, then behavior is attributed to external factor. Why? If I'm not doing something consistently, if I'm doing once upon a time, that means it is due to some external reason. So this is external factor. Attribution is to external factor. Last is distinctiveness. It is high or low. Third point is related to distinctiveness. It is high or low.
It is high.
Ma'am, it is high.
High.
It is high.
It is high. Because Rachel evaluates whether Mohit's change in behavior is limited to specific situation or it is different. तो उसने देखा कि क्लाइंट ईमेल्स को तो बहुत प्रॉम्प्टली आंसर करता है, क्लाइंट मीटिंग्स को बहुत टाइमली अटेंड करता है. So when they have within the organization, they are having some projects or meetings, then he is coming late. So distinctiveness becomes high in this case. So when distinctiveness is high, then again attribution is given to external factor. इसका मतलब कुछ एक्सटर्नल रीजंस हैं जिसकी वजह से वो मीटिंग्स में लेट आ रहा है या प्रोजेक्ट्स की डेडलाइन को मिस कर रहा है.
But ma'am, everyone is doing the same, na? Same.
हाँ. So consensus is high. See, distinctiveness, normally students get confused. Distinctiveness basically मतलब ये होता है, मोनिका का मैं एग्जांपल ले लेती हूँ. If I'm promoting her and I'm saying distinctiveness is high or low. तो इसमें बेसिकली क्या मतलब है, अगर सपोज करो मैंने आपको सोप सेल करने के लिए एक प्रोडक्ट दे दिया, देन आई गिव यू अनदर प्रोडक्ट दैट इज लेट्स से सम शैम्पू, राइट, एंड देन आई अगेन गिव यू सम थर्ड प्रोडक्ट, लेट्स से सम कोम्ब और समथिंग एल्स, राइट. अगर आपकी सेल्स फिगर सोप्स को सेल करते टाइम भी बहुत अच्छी थी और शैम्पू को सेल करते टाइम भी बहुत अच्छी रही है, तो डिस्टिंक्टिवनेस इसमें हाई है या लो है? क्वेश्चन क्लियर हुआ?
Is high.
Please repeat, ma'am, please.
Low.
let me repeat. ठीक है, हम कोई भी 4 प्रोडक्ट्स ले लेते हैं. एक ले लेते हैं सोप, एक ले लेते हैं शैम्पू, ठीक है, एक हम ले लेते हैं मे बी कोम, ठीक है, और एक प्रोडक्ट कोई भी और बता दो, मे बी हनी और सम डाबर का हनी का प्रोडक्ट है, लेट अस पिक दैट, राइट. अब एक सेल्स पर्सन को हमने ये 4 प्रोडक्ट्स दिए कि वो सेल करे, ठीक है. उसने क्या किया, फर्स्ट प्रोडक्ट में उसके सेल्स टारगेट्स जो थे वो थे हाई. शैम्पू को जब हमने उसको सेल करने के लिए दिया तब भी उसकी सेल फिगर्स जो थी वो थी बहुत हाई. जब हमने उसे कोम सेल करने के लिए दिया तब भी उसकी सेल्स फिगर बहुत हाई थी. जब हमने उसको डाबर का हनी सेल करने के लिए तब भी सेल्स फिगर बहुत हाई थी. तो इसमें डिस्टिंक्टिवनेस हाई है या लो उसके बिहेवियर की?
Low है, ma'am.
लो है.
Low.
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 It is
Are
low.
you able to understand?
Low है,
क्यों
ma'am.
लो है? सेम बिहेवियर है, उसमें कोई
Same
डिफरेंस
behavior.
नहीं है. अगर
Different
मैं इसको कह
situation
देती
with same
कि
behavior.
शैम्पू जब हमने उसको दिया तो उसकी सेल्स फिगर हो गई लो, ठीक है. जब हमने उसे हनी या डाबर का हनी सेल करने के लिए दिया तब थी लो, पर जब हमने उसे कॉम्ब और सोप सेल करने के लिए दिया तो सेल्स फिगर थी हाई. तो डिस्टिंक्टिवनेस हाई है या लो?
High.
High.
डिस्टिंक्टिव
High.
उसका
High.
बिहेवियर क्या है? हाई. मतलब अलग अलग प्रोडक्ट में अलग अलग बिहेवियर शो करता है. डिस्टिंक्टिवनेस मतलब डिफरेंस हाई है उसके बिहेवियर का, ठीक है. अब डिस्टिंक्टिवनेस को फर्दर समझो. जब डिस्टिंक्टिवनेस बहुत हाई होती है दैट मींस अगर अलग अलग प्रोडक्ट लाइन में आप अलग अलग बिहेवियर को शोकेस कर रहे हो, दैट मींस उस पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट से रिलेटेड कुछ स्पेसिफिक एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स हैं जिसकी वजह से आप अच्छी सेल कर पा रहे हो. सो इट इज नॉट अबाउट योर इंटरनल कैपेबिलिटी, बट एट्रीब्यूशन हम किसको दे रहे हैं? एक्सटर्नल कंपोनेंट. मे बी सोप का जो प्रोडक्ट है वो ज्यादा डिमांड में है, मे बी आपकी कस्टमर्स बेस ज्यादा बेटर है, इसलिए कोई भी उसको बेटर वे में सेल कर सकता है. बट व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट सम नेक्स्ट प्रोडक्ट दैट इज शैम्पू, उसकी इतनी नहीं कर पा रहे, राइट. सिमिलरली जब डिस्टिंक्टिवनेस लो होती है, अगर आपने सारे कैटेगरी ऑफ प्रोडक्ट में हाई सेल्स रखी या सारे कैटेगरी ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स में लो सेल्स रखी, ईदर ऑफ द वेज, जब आपकी डिस्टिंक्टिवनेस बहुत हाई है, लो है, तब हम उसको एट्रीब्यूट किससे करते हैं? इंटरनल फैक्टर से, इंटरनल कैपेबिलिटी से. एम्प्लॉय की कैपेबिलिटी बहुत अच्छी थी इसीलिए वो हर प्रोडक्ट को बहुत अच्छे से सेल कर पा रहा है. उसकी इंटरनल कैपेबिलिटी वीक थी, इसकी वजह से वो हर प्रोडक्ट को सेल नहीं कर पाया. नाउ इट इज क्लियर टू एवरीवन?
Yes, ma'am.
So if I talk
Yes, ma'am.
about Mohit's case, Mohit is इसकी डिस्टिंक्टिवनेस हमने कैसे देखी कि वो क्लाइंट्स के साथ जो मीटिंग्स हो रही हैं, प्रोजेक्ट्स हो रहे हैं, 1-to-1 इंटरेक्शन है, ही इज गुड एट इट. But when it comes to the internal meetings, it comes to when arriving time at work, he is always late. So इसका मतलब दो different situations में उसका behavior different है. Right? So that means there is some external reason because of which he is not able to arrive at time at work, but his client performance is good. Now it is clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
To brief you out, so what is attribution theory? Let us move to the first slide. Attribution theory, initially it was given by Heather. Later the contributions and different things were made by Kelly, right? So it explains, it is a cognitive process. Cognitive means knowledge, जो आपके mind में है. एक cognitive process है through which individual is going to attribute reasons to the behavior. So what you need is, one, you need the behavior, and then there are three components which explain that how this behavior will be attributed. First is consensus, then is consistency, last is distinctiveness. I hope this topic is clear. I'm moving to the next topic and I'm taking the excess of mind. 1 minute. So after attribution theory, why perception in an organization is important? One I have already covered in detail. One is decision making. केस स्टडी में एक क्वेश्चन है जो मैंने अभी डिस्कस नहीं किया. आई विल जस्ट ब्रीफ यू आउट. व्हाई दिस एट्रीब्यूशन बाय रेचल इज इंपॉर्टेंट. ये कॉग्निटिव प्रोसेस है, कोई इसके लिए फाइल्स नहीं बनाता, ये हमारे माइंड में चलता है, राइट? सो रेचल के लिए एट्रीब्यूशन बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इफ रेचल बिलीव्स दैट इट इज मोहित्स capability or his attitude towards the work that he is not turning up on time or he is missing the deadlines, then her decision will not be in favor of Mohit. वो मोहित को प्रमोट नहीं करेगी, उसके इंक्रीमेंट्स या बोनसेस बहुत अच्छे नहीं देगी. Why? Because according to her, Mohit is not a good performer. But if she feels that Mohit's behavior is attributed to external factor, अगर उसे ऐसा लगता है कि इट इज उसका क्लाइंट्स अच्छी हैं, अलग अलग सिचुएशंस में इज गोइंग गुड, बट जस्ट व्हेन इट कम्स टू कमिंग एट वर्क, when we talk about giving deliverables to work, recently he is not able to do good and it is because of some external factor, then she won't take a decision not to promote, not to give more bonus to Mohit. Rather वो उसको ट्रेनिंग देगी, counseling देगी, feedback देगी that what problem she is facing, and she will be having a positive outlook towards the Mohit, right? So decision making definitely perception impact करता है. Next is conflict resolution. So manager could resolve the conflict if they eliminate the perceptual biases. In next slides we will be covering the different biases. So अगर आपके mind से ये biases remove हो जाएंगे, then it will be easy for you to eliminate the conflicts. Next is leading. So who is a leader? If it would have been a class where we will be having, physical class, then I will be asking you that who is leader, and students would have been saying someone who is managing, someone who is framing the objectives, someone who is leading, right? But in simple words, leader is one who has followers. ठीक है? आपकी कोई inner capability नहीं, you should have followers. If people are ready to follow you, if people are ready to do what you want, then you turn up a leader. So इस class में, if one student is able to convince every student that you leave the class or you join the class, whatever, then unofficially that person will turn up into a leader. So leader basically क्या कर रहा है? He is creating a perception, a positive perception about himself or herself in the minds of followers. So when you try to become a leader, it is important that people should perceive that you are right. Whatever you are saying is right and they should follow you. Last is engagement. perception is also going to influence that how employees perceive the given task, job roles, and overall environment of the organization. Okay. Then comes teamwork. So when we are working in a team, then every individual's perception plays a very important role for the smooth communication within the team members. So communication is also explained in this point. Other than that, we have recruitment process, performance evaluation, ethnic profiling. These 3 points I will be discussing once I will cover the next topic. I have missed some slides. Please wait. Okay. Before we go further, let us first understand the perceptual process. Till now, you must be thinking that why my mind is reading everything differently, right? कैसे ये process काम करता है? ये cognitive process कैसे काम करता है, right? So this cognitive process includes 3 stages. First is input, then process, then output. What do we mean by input? Input basically means sensation. You have eyes, ears, touch. So employee is receiving the sensory information from the environment. So अगर अभी मैं कहूँगी what you could see in a particular classroom. मान लो आप classroom में बैठे हो and I'm going to ask you कि what you are able to see in the classroom. Every individual is going to tell different things. Someone is going to say blackboard, teachers, students. Someone will say fans, light, teachers, students. कुछ overlapping होंगे और कुछ altogether different होंगे. But for a single person, it is not possible to see each and everything that is there in the room. अगर हम each and everything की बात करें तो nail भी हो गया, wood भी हो गया, आपकी windows भी हो गई, आपकी glass ceilings भी हो गई. So there are so many things, right? But your mind is able to see some particular information that they are picking from the environment. Once you pick this information, it turns out to be the input that you are getting from the environment. You start with the selection process. So first thing is you select. How you select? जितना large size का object होगा, आपका mind उसे जल्दी likely है कि वो देख लेगा. It will be selected. जितना small size का object होगा, उतना ही आपके mind उसे देख नहीं पाएगा. It won't be able to see it. The chances are very bright. Then if the object will be under the bright lights, so the chances are that your mind is going to see it. But if something is under the dark light, dark, not even light, it is under dark, then your mind might not be able to see it in the surroundings. Next is contrast. Black के ऊपर कोई white चीज पड़ी होगी, आपके mind को जल्दी दिखेगा. But white के ऊपर कुछ white पड़ा होगा, maybe miss हो जाएगा. Then repetition. So in case अगर मान लो, if you are sitting in the classroom and 20 times a person is going out and coming in, so 20 times the person is moving across the room, then your mind will be able to remember that person. But अगर कोई once in a time कोई चीज हुई तो हमारा mind generally भूल जाता है. Last is कोई बहुत ही unique सी चीज होती है, कोई unique सा clothes पहन के आ गया क्लास में, so आपका mind उसे जल्दी देखता है compared to the familiar things. So these are the external factors which are going to influence how you are selecting the things from the environment. Then other than this, there are certain internal factors like your individual personality, your self-concept, your immediate goals, your personal interests, your past experiences, cultural backgrounds, values, expectations, etc. So in combination of internal and external factors, your mind is selecting different things from the environment. And क्योंकि हम सबकी personality अलग है, self-concept अलग है, motivation background अलग है, इसीलिए हम सब environment में से different चीज को select कर ले. Once the things are selected, then your mind is going to organize it, classify it, right? It involves that how selected perceptions are structured and interpreted. So for example, if I will ask what you are able to see in the class, generally everyone is going to say students. But students में भी बहुत variation है, right? Girls हैं, boys हैं, gender differences हैं, और भी बहुत तरह के differences हैं. So your mind is going to classify the similar looking things into one category. Tables, chairs, furniture, कोई कुछ students कहेंगे furniture. So your mind is structuring the things that they are able to see around it. I give you one example. If I will ask you what you are able to see in the screen, whatever you are able to see in this picture, you will say square. कुछ students होंगे जो शायद बोलते dotted square. But basically they are the dotted lines. It is not a square, but your mind is giving it a closure. Close कर दिया उसने. They have turned it into a square. So this is a human tendency to give the closure to the objects. What happens when someone is telling you some information? Automatically आपका mind पूरी information के आगे की story build कर लेता है. So this is the closure, right? So जब आप interpret करते हो, जब आप group करते हो, automatically you try to close it. Similarly, figure ground. So this is based on the psychology which states that the whole of something is different from the sum of its part. So if I ask you what you are able to see it, जब आप उसे distance से देखते हो, उसका whole picture आपको different दिखेगी और individual things different होती हैं. So once this all classification is done, then your mind starts interpreting it. So जो ये perception आपने form किया, it is going to influence the decision making process and it will be reflected in your behavior, right? So for example, a recruiter might end up recruiting low performing candidates based on their dressing sense. So if someone is dressed up very good, then the interviewer might perceive that the person is very knowledgeable, but that doesn't define the technical skills. So ये biases हमारे क्यों होते हैं? क्योंकि हमारा mind इस तरह से perceive करता है. So there are various errors and biases in the attribution. We learned in the attribution theory that you attribute a behavior to internal and external factor. Now, when you are doing this, like when Rachel is attributing a behavior to internal or external factors, when she is attributing the Mohit's behavior in the case study, then there are chances of certain biases which you could come across. Biases that we will be studying in this class are two. One is fundamental errors of attribution and second is self-serving bias. Fundamental errors of attribution says that it is a tendency of employee to attribute other failures or negative behavior to internal factor and their success to external factor. So जैसे किसी को promotion मिलता है, it is a good thing, right? It is their success. Normally human tendency है कि हम किसी और की success को attribute करते हैं external factor से. Like it is connection, it is luck, like this. But if there is a failure, किसी को promotion नहीं मिला, then we attribute it to the internal factor. हमेशा ही work from home ले लेता था, हमेशा ही late आता था office में, right? So last time I worked in a project with him, he was not good, she was not good. So this is how our mind works. So for example, if employee is coming late to office, then what will happen? Boss will think, lame excuse दे रहा है, traffic बता रहा है, he always come late. So this is a fundamental error of attribution. He might have genuinely come across the traffic, but our mind is not ready to accept the reason the person is giving. Second is self-serving bias. It is a tendency of employee to attribute their own success to internal factor and their failure to external factor. So fundamental attribution error कब होता है? जब आप किसी और के success और failure को attribute करते हो. अगर किसी और के failure को आप internal factor से attribute करते हो और उसकी success को external से, then it is a fundamental error of attribution. Self-serving bias occurs when you talk about yourself. जब आपको अपना promotion होने के बाद feeling आती है, it is my hard work. And अपने failures के बाद you feel I was not promoted because my manager was biased. Then you might be coming across the self-serving bias. To understand it further, let us do this short case study. So ABC Limited is going through a tough phase. Due to the recent recession post-COVID-19, the company is unable to grow as per expectation. The current growth rate could force management to think about trimming and reducing employees from various departments. The company consists of staff members, managers, and senior managers. Staff members level 1 remains staff for 5 years, and then they are promoted to next level, that is level 2. At level 2, usually a manager stays for around 4 years, and then he or she is promoted to the next level, that is level 3 senior manager. Usually at a given time, staff works on 2 clients, and each manager works on 4 clients. And each senior manager should have at least 2 clients. It is 8 a.m. and Mr. Shashank Goyal is thinking about the upcoming promotions while having a cup of coffee. It is difficult to promote everyone, and not promoting anyone could hamper the company's image. So he calls a meeting, and following is decided in the meeting that they will be promoting only the staff members. कौन सी staff members को promote करेंगे? Number 1, whose feedback is good, floor presence is good, he or she is proactive, and he or she possesses good managerial skills. So HR manager Kunal Malhotra, based on the decision, he introduced 360-degree appraisal. 360-degree appraisal क्या होते हैं? When you take appraisal from all the stakeholders who are working with the employee. That means clients, managers, peers, colleagues, and everyone. So he asked staff members, clients, managers, and peers to fill the structured feedback form. Then he collected the visit data, and he asked senior manager to tell whether the staff member is possessing the required managerial skills or not. Based on this, Alex and Shweta, who both are the co-workers, both are hardworking and sincere, but based on the data explored, Alex was promoted and Shweta was not promoted. So according to Alex, her promotion is due to her hard work, determination, and regular office visit. She also feels Shweta is not promoted because she often opts for work from home. According to Shweta, she was not promoted because the way HR has collected the data was biased. She also believed that Alex is promoted because her manager is lenient while giving the feedback. So here are the questions. Based on this case study, you have to explain the errors and biases in the attribution. I am giving you access to the mic. If you have any answers, please check. Yes, anyone? Case study clear?
Sorry, ma'am, we've not been
Ma'am,
seeing changes in your
screen
slides at all.
Please, ma'am. Screen
You were
is
not
freeze.
able to see the changes in my slide.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. We can
Screen is
see
freeze
the Rachel case
Come
study.
back.
Screen is stuck.
from almost
Okay,
half
कोई
an
बात
hour.
नहीं. I'm just sharing the case study. I'm sharing the case study again, and I will give you the brief.
I guess Rima, is this case study from the PPT which we have already?
It
Did
is
you
from
read
the
it
PPT.
from the book? Yes.
It is a book case study only. SLM. Right? So basically, if I summarize, now the case study is visible to you all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
In short, एक ABC Limited company है, right? They are going through a recession. So Shashank Goyal, director, in a meeting, he has decided that based on the feedback and the managerial skills, staff members will be promoted. So Kunal Malhotra, who is the HR manager, he said he took 360-degree appraisal. 360-degree appraisal means manager, peer, clients, all are going to give the feedback. He took the feedback और उसके बाद उसने visit data देखकर senior manager से पूछा whether the particular employee should be promoted, he possesses managerial skills or not. इस data को उसने compile किया और उसने result को declare कर दिया. Now श्वेता और Alex दो co-workers हैं, दोनों बहुत hardworking and sincere हैं. Alex का promotion हो गया, but श्वेता का promotion नहीं हुआ. So Alex is thinking that uska promotion hua because she is hardworking, determined, regularly visiting to offices. But Shweta is not promoted because she often opts for work from home. Whereas Shweta ko lagta hai that she is not promoted because HR data collection process was biased. And she is promoted because Alex is promoted because uska manager lenient hai when it comes to giving feedback. Now the question is that based on this case study, you have to explain two biases that are errors and biases in attribution. अब question clear है? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes or no? Right? So
Yes.
according to you, which two biases are discussed in the case study? Anyone?
Ma'am, as per Alex, it is self-serving bias.
For the Alex, it is self-serving bias and it is fundamental errors of attribution also. Let me explain you. Okay? Just to understand, you were not able to see any of these slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. None of them.
Yes, ma'am. None of them.
None of them.
None of.
So
Yes,
last
ma'am.
slide
After
that
the-
you were able to see was this one?
After the
No,
first case
last
study.
was Rachel. Rachel case study.
First, the Rachel one.
Okay, so you were not able to see this also.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Throughout
Oh,
this
so
topic
sorry.
was page was saved.
Okay, I will be more careful from the next time. Sorry for that. If you were not able to see, I thought that I'm writing it out and you are able to see this case study. So anyhow, because we have moved ahead, I will be continuing from the next case study only. Right? Next time, because you people were having the excess of mic when I was writing this. So आप मुझे बता दिया करो next time से. I will mention that what I'm showing in my screen. Okay? Anyhow. So basically, there are two errors of biases. One is fundamental of error of attribution, which means जब आप दूसरों के behavior को attribute करते हो, you normally feels that failure is because of the internal factor and success is because of the external factor. Second is self-serving bias when you talk about yourself. जब आप अपने किसी behavior या event को attribute करते हो, you feel that my success is because of my internal capability, but my failure is because of some external reason. ठीक है? Talking about the answer of this case study, here श्वेता को लगता है कि उसका प्रमोशन इसलिए नहीं हुआ because HR ने जो डेटा कलेक्ट किया वो bias था. Right? It is mentioned here. So this is, what is this? This is a self-serving bias. Her failure, she has attributed it to the external factor. HR का डेटा खराब था, right? But others, जो Alex का उसने line लिखी है that Alex का promotion is because manager is lenient. This is explaining the fundamental attribution of error. What does that mean? कि जब वो किसी और के सक्सेस को एट्रीब्यूट कर रही है, she is feeling this is happening because of external factor. Now it is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Similarly, when we look into Alex case, when Alex is saying that Shweta is not promoted because she opts for work from home, this is fundamental attribution error. तो जब हम किसी और के failure को attribute करते हैं, we always feel that this is happening because of the external reason. But when she is attributing her promotion to hard work, partially it is correct because in the case study it is given that both are hardworking and sincere. So my every perception is not an error. What I'm trying to say is whatever I'm thinking may not be an error, but sometimes it's an error, right? Now it is clear. So if first questions come in the exam, you have to explain fundamental attribution error, you have to explain self-serving bias, and दोनों में आपको examples जानने पड़ेंगे Alex and Shweta. Do you feel Alex is justified while explaining her success? You could say yes also, and you could explain it that it is mentioned in the case study. That's why I've written. You could also say no, and you could explain that when she is thinking that it is her determination, regular office visit, it looks like a self-serving bias. In question number 3, do you feel Shweta is justified while explaining her failure? The answer is no. It is a bias, right? It is a self-serving bias. And then you have to explain the error. So do you feel attribution error needs to be corrected? The answer is yes. What implication could such errors have on the organization? What implications could be there? क्या हो सकता है इसका result?
Loss of trust.
Loss of interest हो सकता है. They might end up into a fight. So right now they might be a friend, but they might not find it comfortable working with each other. Alex as a senior, Shweta senior, Shweta might not accept it because Shweta doesn't feel कि उसका जो promotion है वो reasonable है. Sorry, उसका ना promotion होना एक reasonable decision है. उसे लगता है एक bias है. So this would create a lot of problems in the organization, right? So that is the reason it needs to be corrected. Now, frequently use shortcuts in judging others. I hope my slide is visible to you all.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm taking the access to mic. I will give you later. So when we are making the decisions, there are a lot of shortcuts that we are making when we are judging others. First is stereotyping bias. Stereotyping bias means it is our tendency to judge people based on the groups they belong to. So for example, अगर आप किसी American के साथ work कर रहे हो, so it is in our mind which says that they prefer individual work. और अगर हम किसी Japanese के साथ work कर रहे हैं, then it is again in our mind that they prefer teamwork. But this is not true for all the Japanese or all the Americans. So there is an example that Jacob and Kenzo are the two co-workers and Amit is the supervisor. अब अमित के पास दो assignment है, one which requires teamwork and second assignment which could be done individually. So without asking Jacob and Kenzo, without even having any kind of discussion, अमित ने teamwork वाला handover कर दिया Kenzo को और Jacob को handover कर दिया individual assignment. So this is wrong. Similarly, when it comes to gender, there are a lot of biases. So there is a perception that certain kind of job females could not do. So without even asking, you are not giving the job to the females, right? So this is again a bias. Thirdly, it could be based on age. So if in your organization, someone is in 20s or someone is in your 60s or 50s, then we have a perception about them. 50s में technology का बारे में क्या ही पता होगा. And someone in 25 or 30s, we say technology driven hai. This may be true, this may not be true. It could be a bias. So your mind thinks that a person of 55 years might not be comfortable with technology. So based on this knowledge, you take the decision. And someone in 20s or 25, 28, you believe they are very good in technology, but this is not true. जरूरी नहीं है कि they are good in technology. They might not be good in technology. Similarly, we have perception regarding the race also. So by promoting awareness, diversity training, inclusive practices, organization can reduce negative impact of stereotyping bias. So there is a need of equitable workplace. So to leverage the full potential of the diverse talent pool, it is important to reduce this bias. ठीक है, जितना ज्यादा डाइवर्सिटी होगी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में उतनी क्रिएटिविटी और इनोवेशन आएगी. Because the more different mindsets, the more different things will be on the table, you will be able to make better decisions. But to enjoy the benefit of diversity, it is important to reduce this bias of stereotyping. Next is projection bias. It is a tendency of employee to attribute their own characteristics to others. One example I always give. So whenever I come late to office, or my college, I always say it is due to traffic. I always do this. So जब भी मैं late होती हूँ, I say it's traffic. So when my subordinate will come late to office and they will say it is because of traffic, I will be like, really? I won't buy it. Why? Because I myself is blaming the traffic for coming late. So I won't buy this thing that anyone who is genuinely late because of traffic, I will always find it as a lame excuse. क्योंकि ये मेरी टेंडेंसी है कि जो मैं करती हूँ, मुझे लगता है सब वही करते हैं, which may be true, which may not be true. So if a manager prefers to work independently, so he will come up with the projects and assignment in such a manner that everyone has to work individually. Vice versa, if he prefers to work in team, then he will come up with assignments and project in such a form that is through team only. So projection bias highlights the importance of recognizing and respecting the diversity in preferences and work styles within the organization. Next is halo effect and horn effect. Halo effect basically क्या होता है? When one single good trait about a person influences your perception about the person as a whole. So example, अगर Mr. X की एक charismatic personality है and during team meetings he is able to communicate well, then due to the halo effect, his seniors may perceive that he is a good performer. He possesses problem solving skills. He is good at work, which may be true, which may not be true. Conversely, horn effect क्या होता है? एक negative impression, एक negative, component पूरे person को negative treat करवा देता है. So if Mr. X initially makes a negative impression, perhaps by he is because shy or reserved, he is not able to communicate confidently, then it might be perceived that his analytical skills, his knowledge and everything is weak about the project. So halo and horn effect can impact performance evaluation, promotion decisions and team dynamics in the workplace. Confirmation bias, I have also explained this previously. So each one of us is having some pre-existing beliefs. This is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. So even when we know that what is happening, subconsciously, unknowingly, we try to confirm those pre-existing notions. So for example, if a manager believes that graduate toppers scoring first 10 ranks are more sincere and determined, so during the recruitment process, he will tend to unconsciously focus on candidates' backgrounds that support his belief. So automatically, his interview will be little lenient for those who are the top rankers. He will be little strict over those who are the other way around. Contrast effect bias. It basically means when you're taking the interviews particularly, you try to compare two employees. So basically आपके पास एक job role है, responsibility है, specialization है कि क्या चाहिए, specifications है. So rather than looking at which employee is fit for this job, recruiters generally end up with this bias where they start comparing two candidates. So during an interview, managers often compare candidates coming on same day. If the manager interviewed 3 candidates with low profiles, the manager tends to feel more impressed with the 4th candidate with a slightly better profile. तो पहला कैंडिडेट आया उसे कुछ नहीं आता था, दूसरा आया उसे भी नहीं आता था, तीसरे कैंडिडेट की भी सिमिलर प्रोफाइल थी, फोर्थ कैंडिडेट स्लाइटली बेटर था but not fit for the job. But at this point of time, manager is going to perceive that yes, he's a good fit. Why? Because of the contrast effect bias. In such a scenarios, manager's perception of the 4th candidate might be overly positive due to the contrast effect. He or she might overlook the potential weaknesses and the areas of improvement in the 4th candidate. Recency bias means that when performance appraisals are going, we give more weight to recent contribution compared to past contribution. अगर annual review हो रहा है, so मैंने initial 3-4 महीनों में क्या किया वो miss हो जाएगा. Why? Because last के 3-4 months की जो मेरी memories है, manager की जो memories है वो strong है. So more weight will be given to that contribution. Similarly, a supervisor evaluates an employee's performance based solely on the recent mistake, and he might overlook their consistent track record over the past year. So this bias could lead to unfair performance assessment. For example of perception, a very good example of perception is Nano. So जब Tata Nano introduced हुई, it was a very ambitious project and the idea behind it was very good to make the product accessible to everyone. But when it comes to their promotion, they use this term that it is low cost, affordable product, ultra low cost, affordable product. So they position the product like this. So what perception people carried about the product? That it is a cheap product. It is a product where the quality has been compromised. And that became one of the core reason why this particular Tata Nano failed in the market, right? So consumer perception is again very, very important when it comes to sales. I'm giving access to you all access of mic. If you have any query, you could ask. Any query till here? Yes, please.
Rima, yes, I have.
Yes.
Actually, the example that you have given in the last this 4 interview. I mean, the manager has taken interview of 4 people.
Correct.
Right, and he picked the last one. But why are we putting this into bias category? Because if you are, if I am a manager, I'm going through the same process. The person who is right eligible, then I'll pick that person, right?
Correct. So
Then
basically,
why are we saying this bias?
it is a bias.
So,
Why? Because
Hmm.
for a job role, देखो आपके पास एक job role है, right? उसके लिए आप number of days में interviews रखोगे, obviously. And for a particular job role, आपके पास job description होगी, what is expected from a person. आपके पास
Right.
job specifications होगी, what qualification is required to do a particular job. But हमारा human mindset जो होता है, उसकी particular requirement को at times ignore कर देता है, and we start comparing the employees. It is not a necessary thing to hire anyone if they are not eligible. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? I'm just trying to explain you the
Yes.
bias. Bias ये है कि आप 4 लोगों को compare करके एक person को, ऐसा नहीं है you know that the person is not good and you are hiring. No, your mind starts believing that this person is good, his communication skills are good, he will be able to do the work. अगर यही employee कुछ और employees के साथ आता जिसका profile और suitable होता, then your mindset would have been
You will
different.
pick.
तो टेक्निकली होना ये चाहिए, you have the job rules in your hand, you have the job specification in your hand, you know what is required in a particular job, and you should evaluate individual employee based on it. But eventually you have started comparing them. Now it is clear?
Yeah, fine.
Right? इसी तरह से like different है, हमने सिर्फ उस पोर्शन को पिक किया. See, it is not like I gave you the example of Alex. ऐसा नहीं है if I believe that my promotion is because of my hard work, it is always a bias. It is not true. But sometimes our mind end up into believing certain things which are not true, and they are the bias. 100% नहीं. अगर if Alex वाला, I am just opening the example again. Here it is written that according to Alice, her promotion is due to hard work. And there is a scenario that both are hardworking and sincere. So अगर वो believe करती है उसे hard work की वजह से मिला, तो ये bias हो, ये जरूरी नहीं है. Is it clear?
Yes.
Does it make sense? Right. Anything
Yes.
else? Any other question?
I was just thinking, why are we putting this particular thing or scenario into bias?
We are looking it from a different angle. देखो, human mind is very complex, right? And हम सिर्फ उसका एक component समझ रहे हैं जो उसके decision making को impact कर सकता है, और उसके decisions जो होते हैं organizations की effectiveness को impact कर सकती है. So we are just looking for those possible situations where the biases could happen. Okay?
Got it.
Any other question from any other topic? Yes. Till here everything is clear. So basically, from this particular topic, perception, broadly, if I'm saying, you should be knowing meaning and the perception process. You should be knowing the importance of perception in organization. You should be knowing the attribution theory, that is internal external attribution, errors and biases in attribution, frequently use shortcuts in judging others, which includes your projection error, confirmation bias, recency, halo horn effect, and stereotyping. Link between perception and individual decision making. Minimum 4 or 5 points should be handy with you. And last, you should be knowing about rational decision making, bounded rationality, and intuition based modeling. So who gave this, the concept of bounded rationality, and why it is important in today's work environment. So these points should be clear in your mind. Is this part clear? For reference, I think SLM is self-contained. इसमें ये सारे topics covered हैं brief में. In addition to this, for the more cases and case study, you could also refer to Robin's book. Is this part clear to everyone? Should I move ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So today I will be covering one more topic, that is to give it a closing to this particular class, and then we will be discussing rest in the next class. So just let me just take the access of mic, and then I will be giving you access later on, right? Okay. I hope my slides are visible to you all. Please put it in the chat box if slides are not visible. Slides are visible? Yes or no? Put it in the chat box. Anyone could write yes. So this is from the unit 1 topic that we have studied perception, but before that we need to understand that after this MBA, you all will be aiming to become the managers and move to the senior positions, right? If not today, maybe in your career later on, right? So what a manager is actually expected to do? Manager ka kya role? So managers are the coordinators, right? They are not doing the task directly. If I am the manager and I am doing everything on my own, then in a true sense, I'm not an efficient manager. I'm not a good manager, right? A manager is the person who get things done through others, right? So managers are the coordinators. They help organization to accomplish its goal through people most effectively and efficiently. It becomes essential for a manager to understand people behavior. Why? Because he is not doing the task directly, rather he is getting the work done through other people. Effectively or efficiently में difference क्या होता है? Effectively means that when you are doing the things on time. And efficiency basically means when you are doing the things with quality. So doing things with minimum wastage means efficiency, right? And when your focus is doing the right things in the given point of time, then we say it is effectiveness. So within this managerial framework, there are different roles which were defined by Henry Mintzberg. Henry Mintzberg ने 1960 में based on the observation कई सारे roles को categorize किया. These are the roles what a manager is expected to fulfill when he turns out to be a manager. So broadly उसने सारे roles को 3 category में develop किया. First is interpersonal role, second is informational role, last is decisional role. Interpersonal, the 3 categories that he has segregated. Interpersonal का मतलब होता है one person with other person. तो जब हम इंटर स्कूल बोलते थे मतलब एक स्कूल का दूसरे स्कूल के साथ कंपटीशन. जब हम इंट्रा स्कूल बोलते थे दैट मीन्स एक स्कूल का विद इन द स्कूल कंपटीशन. Similarly, interpersonal communication means that one person is communicating with other person. And intrapersonal communication means when you're communicating with yourself. Interpersonal role means role where manager is interacting with others, right? Second broad category of role is informational role. And the third category of role is decisional role. So within the interpersonal role, he defined 3 more roles: figurehead, leader, and license. Figurehead का मतलब है it is a symbolic role, official representation. So जितना भी रूटीन लेवल सोशल वर्क चल रहा है, लीगल नेचर का वर्क चल रहा है, डॉक्यूमेंट्स में साइन करने का वर्क है, that roles need to be taken up by the manager. So if manager, HR manager is there, anything related to the department, all the signatures, legal work, everything is the responsibility of the head. manager. That is the role of figurehead. Second role is leader. So when it comes to hiring, when it comes to motivating, when it comes to directing the employees, all these roles are performed by the leader. And the leader here is the manager. It is his interpersonal role. And last is his network to gather information lies. This means that he is building a network so that he could get the information. If you are the HR manager or the marketing manager, you need to connect yourself with other marketing managers in the same industry. So when you build this network to gather the information, this is also your interpersonal role. Second, he explained the broad category, focus on the broad category, informational. Very, very important. So when I will move ahead, I will be also explaining you in some chapters. Briefly, it is not directly in your syllabus. Information is also the power, right? So manager का role है information को deal करना, right? Here he is performing three roles. First, it is his responsibility that he needs to gather the information. What is going on in the industry by reading the reports, by maintaining the network. It is his responsibility, it is his role or his or her role rather to collect the information through various sources, internal and external. Then again, it is his or her responsibility to transfer the collected information to the members of organization by holding meetings, emails, and memos. And lastly, again, it is his responsibility or her responsibility to transfer the information about the department or organization to the external world by giving information to media, by holding the board meetings. So informational role means information को लाना, monitoring, information को अपने employees तक पहुंचाना, disseminator, information को outsiders को बताना, that is spokesperson. All these three roles is the responsibility of a manager. Last is decisional role. Decisional roles include entrepreneur, handling disturbance, negotiator, and resource allocator. It basically means that taking decisions. If some change you want to bring in the organization, then it will be initiated by the manager. If you want to bring business to the organization, you want to bring new opportunities, then again, this is the responsibility of a manager to bring more business, to act like an entrepreneur. Then in case some processes are in disturbance, there are some disturbance when it comes to certain processes. There are some conflicts which are going on within the subordinates. Then handling the disturbance is also the responsibility of a manager. He or she is the one who will be making the decisions. Lastly, when with the suppliers or the unions negotiations are going on, then again manager plays a very important role. And last, when it comes to resource allocation. So आपके पास resources हैं, आपको budget को allocate करना है. So manager plays a very important role and it is his or her responsibility to allocate resources. To summarize, the broad roles were defined by Mintzberg: interpersonal, informational, and decisional. Within interpersonal, again, there were three roles: figurehead, leader, and license. All the three roles are related to interpersonal, right? Then three informational roles are there. That is bringing information, monitor, spreading the information or telling the employees about the information, disseminator, telling the outside world about what is going on in the department or department related information, spokesperson. So this informational role is also performed by the manager. Last, he needs to take the decisions when it comes to bringing the change, bringing the business, negotiating with the suppliers or unions, allocating the resources, and taking the decision when the disturbance is going on. So this is again the role of a manager. Till here, I'm giving the access to the mic. If you have any questions, you could ask. Any question? All the rules are clear to you? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes.
So there
This
is one
rule-
case study. There is one case study, right? If you want, you could take the screenshot or I will give you this case study. You read the case study from home. In the next class, we will be discussing the case study and then we will be moving ahead. This case study is related to managerial roles that have been defined by the MINSPA, right? If you want, you could take the screenshot. So this case study is about Monica. She's a bank manager. It explains the different roles the Monica is performing during her one day and her time in the bank. Towards the end, you are asked that to segregate her roles according to the framework given by MINSPA. So as I have already explained you, part A is case study and case study will be coming for 20 marks. It's a mandatory question. So in online classes or offline classes, we will be discussing the case studies. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm showing the case studies.
Yes, ma'am.
And these are the questions related to case study. Give it a reading. I will also get this case study uploaded on Teams. So you could also take it from there. Give it a reading. Go through the questions, try to solve them. And in next class, we will be discussing this case study. And I will be discussing this case study towards the end. If someone in next class is joining who has not attended this class, so they don't feel disconnected, right?
Ma'am, please share the PPT also.